I'd like to thank a few people for completely destroying the holidays for me. Other than my wife dying in my arms back in 2011, today was the worst day that I could possibly remember. Haven't slept in 3 days. Haven't eaten in over 24 hours. Not that I couldn't stand to starve myself. I basically got robbed out of $800. I got robbed. How do you get robbed? Anyway, I flew out here to Idaho. I flew into Twin Falls, Idaho. And then I went south of there. I'm not going to mention the location that a couple of people had me fly into. They actually flew me in. Horrible. Unbelievably horrible. Now, I used to camp, and I don't mind roughing it, actually. If I were like a convicted murderer and they threw me into like the worst jail on earth, it wouldn't even match what I saw. There were supposed to be cabins. Of course, there was no pictures. And there was a hidden agenda. Of course, everybody has an agenda. Well, most everybody does. I don't. They were actually like little sheds that you would put your riding lawnmower in. There are like 5 or 6 of them. Just a bed. There isn't even a light in there. Absolutely freezing cold. They put in a tiny space heater. It was just frigid cold. Even after 6 hours, it was still frigid cold. I put on 4 layers. 4 layers I put on. I was still freezing to death. And interestingly enough, I ran my hands over top of the bed sheets and the pillows that were on there. And imagine like if you were to throw a box of cereal on top of your bed, what it would feel like. It was that. I was like, what the hell is this? So since there was no light in there and I brought my own light, I turned it on and it was either bat shit or bird shit covering the pillows. I mean, everywhere. There was not even 2 square inches that weren't covered. And it was like, oh my God, it's so gross. But there's no bathrooms there. There's no bathrooms. There's no showers. The toilets were broken. Beyond horrible. So I couldn't even wash my hands. You know what histoplasmosis is? This is neat thing that you get from bird shit, and it causes you to go blind. Now, a best friend of mine got histoplasmosis, and he went like 90% blind, and then he got so depressed over it, he blew his fucking brains out. Excuse my language, he blew his damn brains out because he got so depressed. So, no. Admittedly, I wanted to see this part of Idaho, and I thought, well, I'll go over here, do some scientific stuff on some various things. I don't want to get into specifics because I don't want to single anybody out. Like I'm picking on some. The worst experience I could possibly imagine today. And it was so bad and so deplorable that I had to go to a couple of the residents there. And I found an old, retired Vietnam veteran. And I couldn't get him lower than $150 cash to drive me back to Twin Falls, Idaho. Right now I'm in a really cheap, junky Best Western. I felt like, this is like a free trip. Of course, there's nothing free. I mean, I'm not stupid, for God's sakes. But I thought, it's a free trip. So not only did I have to pay the Vietnam veteran to drive me over 80 miles, which, bless his heart. He actually told me a lot of stories about stuff that I can't tell you about that goes on down there. And then the great thing was the emergency change in airfare. That was $650. So $150 for that dude to drive me back. This is literally in the middle of the desert. It's in the middle of nowhere. So I was lucky to get him. So yeah, another $650 for the airfare. So that's $800. I'm going to have a taxi cab ride late tomorrow evening. And fly out of Twin Falls. So thanks to a few people that I'm going to leave unnamed. Thank you so much for destroying the holidays for me. I was actually looking forward to seeing this part of Idaho. But yeah, bed covered in bat crap. It could have been bat crap. It was probably bird crap. I don't know which. Yeah, histoplasmosis, going blind. Yeah, I kind of like my eyesight. And my buddy who got histoplasmosis, who blew his goddamn brains out, yeah, I'm not going to put up with that. Like I said, if I were like an axe murderer and you threw me in the worst prison in the world, even that would have a light bulb. It would have a halfway clean bed. I wouldn't be freezing to death. You know, the bed wouldn't be covered in bird crap. So I felt like a gun was put to my head and I was robbed of over $800. $800 I really don't actually have. So I want to say thanks to those unnamed people for basically robbing me of $800 that I don't actually have. And, for giving me the hopes of actually, having a vacation that I could afford. It's like, wow, get to see this part of Idaho. I've always wanted to see this part of the country. And, wow, it was absolutely a disaster. It was worse than a disaster. Not only that, it cost me over $800 that I don't actually have. So, yeah. Absolutely disgusting, vile, pissed off. I would feel no different now than if someone had literally robbed me, and put a piece to my head. Because the result was the same. Just endlessly stressed out to the max and robbed of money. I didn't know. Thank you so much. Not you people, the other people. I hope I never come out here ever again. I never will. And that was like the second worst experience in my life. It was horrible. It was disgusting. It was miserable. I'm robbed. Thanks for ruining Christmas. Not that I really celebrate the holidays, but thanks for ruining them for me. Thank you so much for ruining them. I just needed a break, honestly. I needed a break, and yeah. Thanks for ruining everything. Thank you so much. I actually wish this wasn't true. I wish this was like a funny joke video. Like, haha, no, everything I just said happened. That's disgusting. Absolutely horrible. I was freezing to death. 6 hours later, and the heater was not getting the place even slightly warm. 6 hours later, because it was a heater it was 1 foot by 1 foot, one of those little dinky things you put underneath your desk to keep your feet warm. Like, that's supposed to heat up that room. That room was nothing. There's no shower there. There's no bathtubs. There's nothing. There's the toilets were broken. No shower, no bath, no bathtub. There's no soap. So when I actually, because I couldn't see, there's no light bulb in there. When I ran my hands over the bed sheets that were covered in bird crap or bad crap, I was like, I really want to wash this filthy filth off my hands. Oh, wait a minute. There's no soap anywhere. No, there's no soap. There's no sink. There's no shower. I don't mind roughing it, but that's disgusting. Oh, God. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. That was the most disgusting experience. I've been on the farm more than a few times. I think I fell head first once and got my hands like all the way halfway up my arms in like a gigantic pile of cow crap that did, nearly up to my elbows in cow crap, which I'll never forget ages ago. It didn't even come close to what I experienced today. Didn't even come close. Thanks a lot.